church, government, institutional, and community groups helped create new lives for the refugees that settled in King County. Now Hmong farmers are a significant component of the county's agricultural landscape.
I think it was about 1982 when I was approached by an anthropologist from the University of Washington, and she was a friend of mine, and asked if I could meet with a couple of Hmong leaders to help talk to them about jobs, because they needed employment, they needed jobs to have some money. And so I said, well, I would be happy to talk with them, but I don't know anything about jobs except agriculture.
About 1982, out in Woodinville, there was a farm out in Woodinville. We call it the Hmong Farm. Has a whole bunch of different names, but and it's owned by King County, actually, the farm is. But that's where I first started working with the Hmong farmers, and then they came to Pike Place, which is where I worked.
I was involved in the farm side of it. I'm an entomologist, and so there were quite a few pest problems. And one of the things that was needed was more training. So we would get up and go and be in the fields at 6 o'clock. It was a new thing for me because I usually use slides to lecture, and I was trying to, there's no electricity, there was no slide screen, so it was a combination of using puppets to show, and plastic insects to show the life stage in a size big enough to see, and then talk about the different insects.
A lot of the families didn't even know what the money looked like.
Oh, yeah.
We had to teach them how to even what the different pieces of money meant, like what a quarter looked like and what that was about, and how much 50 cents was, and all of that.
Learning new sustainable business and farming practices is important for farmers to continue to survive in King County. Many groups continue to help farmers learn how to manage and expand their family farms. WSU's Small Farms program has expanded its outreach capacity to engage immigrant farming communities statewide. WSU King County Extension is fortunate to host Bee Cha of the Small Farms program as the Hmong community liaison and immigrant farming specialist. Bee is challenged with the task to bring sustainable practices and tools to the farms through education. Learning and passing of information in Hmong cultures is traditionally done orally through folk stories and visually through art. While the classroom does reach some farmers, language, work schedules, and maybe even learning styles have been barriers to making education easily accessible.
So, anyone, oh yeah, and if anyone is wearing blue, it'll actually disappear, depending on how blue it is. Like, this might actually go away and it look like I have no body. And, you know, you can even play around with things like masking, or like this is just painter's tape I threw on here. And if you want, I can actually grab a roll if anyone wants to play around with that, especially when you're kind of going around doing your video scavenger hunts.
About a dozen of us assembled at 911 Media weekly for 12 weeks to learn how to create videos. Ian, our instructor, taught us how to do pre-production planning, filming, and editing. After learning new skills, the group was challenged to create a video project of some aspect of Hmong culture that they'd like to represent in video.
What piece of Hmong culture would you like to document or remember?
Like, I don't know, like every year we renew people's spirits by sacrificing a pig and doing some ritual and stuff. Yeah. Maybe interview my grandpa, because he does those kind of stuff. Yeah.
So I've known tons of people when they go and they're using a lot of lights or something like that for a shoot.
While we learned to make videos, we also learned something about our group.
We pretty much clash in with having, our cultures being, together. And I wouldn't say that, a lot of the Hmong culture is being forgotten. And a lot of the American culture is being replaced in with it. And so... I have black hair, so I'll just do this to them.
Oh, come on.
In surveys, we found that no one of the team would want to be a farmer full-time as a career. Up to 1/3 of the participants would consider a family farm in addition to their careers. 90% of the group enjoys working on the farm to some degree, while up to 1/3 of those find joy often when working on the farm. Everyone here believes that their family's farm is important, and all of them are proud of their farm.
Right back.